Here's your General Hospital spoiler sneak peek video for the week of August 4th, 2025. It's all hands on deck to find Britt Westbourne this week. But first, Anna has another matter to take care of. She knows that Jocelyn is a WSB agent and confronts Jack about the matter. Anna warns her former colleague that there will be hell to pay from Carly when she finds out what Jack has been up to with her daughter. Jack is walking a fine line with Carly, as he is well aware that his relationship will be over the second Carly gets wind of the truth. Meanwhile, Jocelyn prepares for her trip to Croatia and receives her itinerary from Jack. She also has to convince her mother that another sudden travel excursion is not unusual when she was supposed to be enjoying a summer internship. Jocelyn's life has taken quite a turn since Dex died, as a WSB agent wasn't on anyone's bingo card. Jason confides in Sonny this week and tells him that he is sure that Britt is alive. Carly already brushed him off, but Jason wisely didn't listen to her and did his own investigating. Will Sonny encourage Jason to find her? Anna doesn't know that Jack and Jocelyn's mission involves Britt, but she does believe that Jason is right and Britt is alive. Does Jason tell her that he heard Britt's voice when he called the Five Poppies Resort? Anna tells Jason that he has to find Britt right away. Anna also finds herself in trouble when she is standing on the docks and someone comes up from behind and places a bag over her head. With Britt telling a mysterious person that they have a huge problem and Anna being attacked, it looks like Britt's story is more dangerous than we imagined. Who kidnaps Anna? Is it someone who thinks she is getting too close? Could Liesl be putting on quite an act and is really behind this all? She's pulled off elaborate schemes like this before and can certainly do it again. Hello everyone! Welcome back to my channel, Messy Syrup. It's me, Abby, here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching. So let's dive into today's video. The General Hospital preview for the week of August 4 hints Anna Devane will find herself in danger. Also coming up, Jason Morgan will spread the word about Britt Westbourne. Plus, Jack Brennan will get a fierce warning. And Britt's got a major issue. GH spoilers tease Jason has been suspicious that Britt could still be in the land of the living. After all, he thought he spotted her in the airport in France. Ever since, he's uncovered even more clues to prove he's right. So, he'll turn to Sonny to tell him everything he's learned so far, including hearing her voice when he called the Five Poppies Resort in Croatia. "I'm telling you, Sonny, Britt is alive," he says in the GH Weekly preview. But will Sonny believe him? After sharing his suspicions with Sonny, Jason will spill the beans about Britt to Anna. And it seems the police commissioner will believe him. "You need to find her as soon as you can," Anna will tell Jason. So, is he about to head to Croatia? As for Britt, the preview features her in her hotel room on the phone with someone. "We have a huge problem," she tells the person on the other end of the line. But who will she be talking to? Finally, Anna will confront Brennan about recruiting Jocelyn Jacks at the WSB. "There's going to be hell to pay," she'll tell him, "when Carly finds out what you've done to her daughter." Then Anna will head to the pier to make a call. However, just as she's putting her phone in her pocket, someone comes up behind her, throws a black bag over her head, and drags her away. But who has kidnapped Anna? At any rate, it looks like a great week is coming up. Keep reading the Soap Scoop for more General Hospital spoilers and news, and make sure you join our free GH Facebook group. Here are your General Hospital spoilers for Monday, August 4th, 2025. When Christina first came up with the idea to hire Cody to break up Ava and Rick, Alexis balked at the notion and wondered how it would really get her out of her blackmail situation. Alexis now realizes that Christina's convoluted little plot may actually amount to something when Ava comes to her with a proposition. Is Ava so angry at Rick for his continued interest in Elizabeth that she is ready to double-cross Rick? Alexis is certainly intrigued. Meanwhile, Cody still has work to do to seal the deal with Ava. She may be jealous of Liz, but Christina wants to make sure Ava has someone to turn to. So she offers Cody even more cash to make sure her plan goes off without a hitch. Now that Jason has heard Britt's voice, he knows he's not crazy and she is indeed who he saw at the French airport. Now that he has brought Anna on board, he is that much closer to finding out what really happened to Britt. Anna does some investigating on her own and seeks out Liesel. She has questions for her about the night Britt died. Will Liesel slip up and reveal she's known Britt is alive all along, or is she truly in the dark? As for Britt, she finds a big surprise at the Five Poppies resort. Does a familiar face from Port Charles arrive? Gio may be hard at work plotting to help Emma break into Professor Dalton's lab, while he places his complicated family life on the back burner. He has no choice but to confront that life during an awkward encounter with Chase. Afterwards, he confides his feelings in Emma. After seeing Gio, Chase meets Brooklyn for lunch at the Metro Court restaurant, where she wants to talk more about adopting a baby. Brooklyn is taken aback when Chase tells her that she needs to fix her relationship with Gio before they can adopt. General Hospital spoilers reveal that Willow Tate could kidnap Wiley Corinthos and Amelia Corinthos. Will Willow's last resort strategy leave Michael Corinthos reeling? It's clear that Willow has some serious mental health issues at this point. Willow has moments of clarity here and there, but she always goes back to this unhinged, hysterical version of herself when she doesn't get her way. One minute, Willow seems to understand that she needs to prove she's stable, and the next she's flying off the handle all over again. There's no consistency when it comes to Willow's behavior right now, and that's a big part of why Michael's keeping her away from the kids. Even if Willow manages to settle down and put up a good fight for visitation at the upcoming hearing, there's no guarantee she'll get it. That's especially true since we know Jen Sidwell has been bribing the judge in this case. If Willow loses in court once again, that could totally push her over the edge. Willow may realize she's out of options and decide to do something truly drastic to be with her children. Of course, it's also possible Willow won't be able to wait until the October visitation hearing. Willow may come even more unglued and go to extremes long before that court date arrives. Either way, we could certainly imagine Willow getting desperate enough to kidnap Wiley and Amelia at some point. Willow has been stripped of her right to see her children, so it'll indeed be an abduction if she bolts with Amelia and Wiley. That brings us to the repeated mentions of Isaiah Gannon's cabin and all the repairs he's doing. Could that cabin become a stop for Willow once she snatches Wiley and Amelia? Willow might take the kids there as she tries to regroup and figure out her next steps. This could be a situation where Willow sees an opportunity and impulsively steals the children without having a firm plan in place. Perhaps Isaiah could find out Willow is hiding on the property Lucky Spencer gave him and intervene. Isaiah might be the one to convince Willow that no matter how much she misses Amelia and Wiley, this isn't the way to handle things. Regardless, Willow is fixated on getting back in the kids' lives, so she may do some wild stuff to make that happen. General Hospital spoilers reveal that Dante Falconeri may arrest Giovanni Gio Palmieri over the lab break-in that's coming up. Will Dante bust his son doing a criminal favor for Emma Scorpio Drake? GH fans know Emma is the one who's obsessed with getting inside Professor Henry Hank Dalton's lab. Emma is convinced that animal testing is probably being done in there, so she wants to break in and put a stop to it. Now that Emma has the master key she stole from Vaughn, she's a step closer to accomplishing her goal. Emma mentioned the idea of pulling off this break-in while Dalton was busy speaking at his upcoming lecture. However, Dalton would get suspicious if his overachiever student Emma wasn't right there in the front row. Gio ultimately pointed out that Emma needed to attend the lecture to avoid raising red flags. Now Gio plans to break in the lab on his own, but this sounds like a recipe for disaster. There's a good chance Gio's going to get caught at some point during this illegal mission he's tackling for Emma. Gio isn't supposed to be sneaking in Dalton's lab, where there's restricted access and clandestine operations. It's easy to imagine Gio tripping an alarm while he snoops, so that could lead to Dante being called to investigate. If Dante gets involved in this lab break-in case, it's going to put him in a tight spot. Dante may land in a situation where he's forced to arrest Gio and haul him down to the police station in handcuffs. That could bring yet another setback for Gio and Dante's relationship. Although Dante would love to bond with Gio, it may feel impossible after this potential arrest causes more drama. Of course, it's possible Dante might surprise fans by putting Gio above his job. It might be interesting if Dante lets Gio walk free and chooses to cover for him instead. That could go a long way toward proving Dante cares about Gio and could chip away at the resentment Gio's been struggling with. Whatever the case, General Hospital spoilers say Gio may have a run-in with the law, or at least a close call, so stay tuned for updates on any alarming news to come. General Hospital spoilers reveal a heart-wrenching rift between Brooklyn Quartermain and Harrison Chase if on the horizon. General Hospital memorabilia. Chase's probing questions about their adoption plans leave Brooklyn reeling, as she is still grappling with the bombshell that Giovanni Gio Palmieri is the son she gave up years ago. While her need to forge a bond with Gio is understandable, Chase is bound to be frustrated that their dream of parenting hinges on Gio's choices. Will this pause break their brand-new marriage? Or can Chase wait for Brooklyn's heart to heal? Next week's previews show Chase confronting Brooklyn, his confusion and hurt palpable, as he asks if their adoption plans are on hold until she sorts out her relationship with Gio. While it's clear that the fans' hearts are more than accommodating to Brooklyn's struggle, and we know she is still raw from learning that Gio is her son, we also want Chase to have his happily ever after too. He's wary of leaving their future in Gio's hands, especially since the young man might reject Brooklyn. Fans wonder, is Chase's patience wearing thin, or will he support his wife's emotional journey? Imagine Brooklyn, eyes glistening as she tries to explain to Chase her need to focus on Gio. Next week, her pain, echoing the adoption secret that rocked her world, takes center stage. Chase, while sympathetic, bristles at the idea that Gio's choices dictate their parenting dreams. This tension could fester under wraps and leave Chase feeling sidelined in his own marriage, reeling over whether he is supposed to stand by his wife, even if this hardship pivots their marriage in a completely different direction that he doesn't support. Lois Cerullo might meddle now that she is somewhat back in the picture, hoping to nudge Gio toward Brooklyn. But will Chase's frustration boil over before then? Brooklyn and Chase's marriage may soon be at a crossroads. As it teeters on the edge, we question whether our favorite new couple is going to make it through the year together. Will Chase wait for Brooklyn to navigate her bond with Gio, or will his dream of fatherhood become a deal-breaker? This is a big compromise she's asking for from where Chase sits, but he has been pretty understanding thus far. We're rooting for this couple, but we're also being realistic in acknowledging that Gio's rejection could fracture their future. Stay tuned for more GH news and spoilers to see how this plays out. General Hospital memorabilia, General Hospital spoilers report. Port Charles is pulsing with secrets this week as Joss Jack's covert WSB mission in Europe is set to collide with a jaw-dropping encounter. Paired with Vaughn to pose as a married couple under aliases while tracking Professor Henry Hank Dalton's shady tech dealings, Joss is unaware she is booked at the same Dubrovnik hotel as Britt Westbourne, confirmed alive after Jason Morgan's Paris airport sighting a couple weeks ago. Of course, Joss knows nothing of that. When Joss spots Britt, will she tell Jason or keep silent, knowing Britt could expose her spy role? Joss's leap into the WSB, masquerading as Vaughn's wife to infiltrate Dalton's operation, has fans thrilled, but her stay at the same Dubrovnik-based hotel as Britt changes everything. Imagine Joss, heart racing, spotting Britt, alive, with her poppy-adorned bag, in the hotel lobby, a secret only Jason suspects after his Paris glimpse. Joss's mission demands secrecy, but Britt's survival could tempt her to confide in him. In a heart-pounding moment, Joss will probably lock eyes with Britt across the hotel bar, her alias as Vaughn's wife suddenly at risk. Picture Joss gripping her fake wedding ring as she weighs whether to alert Jason, who is desperate for Britt's return, or keep her lips sealed, knowing Britt could blow her WSB cover. Fans are debating, fearing a standoff. Britt might spot Joss and unravel her mission. Anna Devane, monitoring Joss's assignment, stays silent, while Carly Spencer, clueless about her daughter's spy life, grows suspicious. Will Joss hold her ground or crack? Digging into Joss's high-stakes EU mission, her encounter with Britt could change everything. Will she tell Jason or even Liesl Obrecht, risking her cover or keep quiet, avoiding the chaos that would ensue if she blew her own cover for any reason? Sure, she could play it off that she was merely on vacation when she spotted Britt, but something tells us however they come into contact with each other is going to give Britt direct insight into what Joss is up to. Stay tuned for more GH news and spoilers to see if Joss spills or stays covert. Port Charles. In the power vacuum left by Mayor Laura Collins's departure, a chilling new alliance is taking shape, threatening to permanently blur the line between law and chaos. Mob boss Sonny Corinthos, once grounded by Laura's moral compass, is now making his boldest move yet. He is orchestrating the rise of his one-time nemesis, Assistant District Attorney Justine Turner, in a calculated bid to seize control of the city from the inside out. What began as a volatile mix of hostility and obsession between the prosecutor and the mobster has morphed into a dangerous political partnership. This is no whirlwind romance. It's a masterclass in manipulation. Sonny, after decades of ruling the streets, now seeks the ultimate prize: legitimacy. He sees in the ambitious Justine the perfect vessel, a respectable public face to front his shadow empire. He doesn't need her love, he needs her to win. And she, blinded by the promise of power, seems willing to follow his lead. The strategy is both brilliant and terrifying. While Justine campaigns on a platform of reform, Sonny's network quietly dismantles her opposition. Rivals like Sidwell find themselves besieged by scandals and investigations, their careers methodically destroyed. To the public, Justine looks like a crusading hero. Behind the scenes, Sonny pulls the strings, clearing her path to City Hall. He wears the mask of a benefactor, making public donations and appearing at her side as a supportive community leader, all while tightening his grip on the city's future. This unholy alliance sends shockwaves through the lives of those closest to Sonny. For Carly, watching him empower the very woman who once tried to imprison him feels like the ultimate betrayal. She recognizes this colder, more tactical version of Sonny and fears he is orchestrating a moral collapse from which Port Charles may never recover. Meanwhile, Nina watches from the sidelines, heartbroken. Having barely survived her own tumultuous affair with Sonny, she now sees Justine stepping into a position of power she could only dream of, confirming the unbearable truth that she was merely a detour in Sonny's life, not his destination. The city's legal institutions are in turmoil. Police Commissioner Jordan Ashford and a politically ambitious Ezra watch their world unravel. They face a nightmare scenario where the law and the mafia work in concert, rendering justice meaningless. If Justine becomes mayor with Sonny's backing, every investigation and every shred of accountability could evaporate. The system won't just bend, it will break. Sonny is no longer content to be a kingpin hiding in the shadows. He is emerging as the architect of a new political order. The real question isn't if Justine will win, but what will be left of Port Charles when she does. This isn't just politics, it's a hostile takeover. And as this dangerous power couple rises, the city holds its breath, waiting to see when the mask finally slips, and if anyone will be left to stop the man who is about to become king. In a stunning turn of events, Jason Morgan has accidentally discovered a life-altering secret. He is the biological father of Scout Quartermain, not his twin brother, Drew Kane. The truth emerged from a simple discrepancy in medical records, prompting a discreet DNA test that confirmed Jason's deepest suspicions. The revelation has shattered the fragile relationship between the brothers, leading to an explosive confrontation where a devastated Drew accused Jason of fabricating the results out of jealousy. The situation is further complicated by Alexis Davis, who confesses she has known the truth for years, but kept it secret, believing it was in everyone's best interest while Jason was presumed dead. Now, consumed by guilt and a belief that Scout should be with her biological father, Alexis is providing legal counsel for Jason. A fierce custody battle is brewing, one that will test the loyalties of the entire Quartermain family. The conflict forces everyone to question what truly defines parenthood: biology or the love and dedication of raising a child. At the center of it all is a grieving young Scout, who now faces the confusing reality that the man she has always called Dad is not her biological father. A chilling new theory suggests that the enigmatic courier, Greta, may be a clone of the nurse, who attempted to assassinate Sonny Corinthos in Los Angeles. This wild speculation gains traction from their uncanny resemblance and could tie into a much larger conspiracy. The plot thickens with the involvement of WSB operative Jack Brennan, who helped dispose of the original assassin's body. If he were to see Greta, his recognition could unravel a complex web of espionage. The potential creator of these clones is none other than Port Charles University's own Professor Hank Dalton, whose secretive lab research has sparked rumors of unethical experiments. This isn't just a local problem. The operation appears to be funded by the global terrorist Sidwell, whose ambitions suggest the use of cloned operatives to infiltrate governments and corporations worldwide. If Greta is indeed a clone, Sonny's personal drama is just one piece of a global threat, potentially turning Port Charles into ground zero for a sci-fi-fueled conflict. The younger generation is stirring up its own trouble. Emma Scorpio Drake, a passionate animal rights activist, is convinced Professor Dalton's lab is a site of horrific animal testing. After stealing a master key, she plans a break-in to expose him. Her loyal friend, Giovanni Gio Falconeri, steps up to help. Worried that Emma's absence from a key lecture would raise suspicion, Gio volunteers to conduct the break-in himself. Unfortunately, his solo mission is poised for disaster. Spoilers indicate his amateur attempt will likely trigger alarms, bringing the police to the scene. This sets up a heart-wrenching conflict for his estranged father, Detective Dante Falconeri. Dante could arrive to find he has no choice but to arrest his own son, potentially destroying their chance at reconciliation. Alternatively, in a powerful act of fatherly love, Dante might choose to cover up the crime, a decision that could heal their relationship but compromise his professional integrity. What should have been a beautiful new chapter for Willow Tate became an unforgettable descent into heartbreak, deception, and war. The wedding was meant to seal a new beginning, a chance for love to triumph after everything she's endured. But instead, it became ground zero for a betrayal that left Port Charles stunned and shattered her world in a single devastating moment. Just as Willow prepared to say "I do" to Drew Kane, the air inside the chapel shifted. Whispers rose, eyes widened, and the truth unraveled with brutal clarity. Drew, the man she trusted, had been keeping a soul-crushing secret. A hidden relationship with none other than Harmony Miller, Willow's own mother. The revelation cut deeper than anyone expected. For Willow, it was more than infidelity. It was a desecration of the memory of a complicated mother-daughter bond. A betrayal that blurred every line of loyalty, love, and trust. Drew, once her emotional rock, stood exposed as a man who built a romance on deception. And just like that, the fairy tale collapsed. In front of horrified guests and gasps echoing through the room, Willow made the most heartbreaking decision of her life. She walked away. Without a single tear or confrontation, she left Drew standing at the altar and disappeared into the Port Charles night, her wedding dress billowing like a ghost of everything she lost. Where did she go? To the only person who ever truly had her heart, Michael Corinthos. Willow's arrival at Michael's door was nothing short of emotional combustion. Tearfully, she begged for his forgiveness. She poured out her heart, claiming she never stopped loving him, that Drew was a mistake, and that they could rebuild their family, not just for themselves, but for their children. But Michael, still wounded by Willow's choices, didn't bend. Instead, he delivered a blow of his own. He's filing for full custody of their children, including baby Amelia. What happened next has lit up every corner of GH fandom. In a chilling twist, insiders reveal Willow is spiraling into a dark place and considering desperate, dangerous moves. Sources suggest she's preparing to bribe a doctor to falsify Amelia's paternity test. The shocking implication? That Michael may not be Amelia's biological father after all. Whether it's true or not, Willow is clearly ready to play dirty. And in a courtroom where truth can be manipulated and hearts are used as weapons, this custody battle could become the most explosive in GH history. Even those close to Willow worry she's losing touch with reality. One insider whispered she thinks Michael stole her life, and now she's ready to steal it back. What began as a love triangle has morphed into a custody war, a paternity mystery, and the possible destruction of multiple families. With Carly, Nina, and even Jason about to be pulled into the fray, nothing is safe. Not even the children caught in the crossfire. Is Willow protecting her daughter or punishing the man she once loved? General Hospital tends to go in waves. They can spend months not remembering that Carly and Sonny only had one biological son together, and his name was Morgan. And then we can get multiple references to Morgan within the week, sometimes even in the same episode. We're in the latter part now, which makes us think the show is trying to tell us something about a beloved scion about to return. Morgan was born on this air. Sonny shot Carly while she was in labor because he thought she was cheating on him with Rick. Then, when Morgan was a preteen, Carly had her then-husband, Jax, adopt Morgan after Michael was shot in the head and put into a coma, so that Sonny's enemies wouldn't go after Morgan too. However, don't you dare suggest to Carly that her choice of on and off marriages to Sonny puts her children in danger. She hates that. How dare you? How dare you? Carly would never, ever, ever do anything to hurt her precious children. That's why she needs Wiley and Amelia away from Willow. Willow is with Drew, and Drew is a danger to the children. They are much safer with Michael, who is Sonny's son, so he is always being looked after. Since we've been hearing so much about Morgan lately, what if he isn't really dead? What if he returns? And what if then Carly can no longer deny the damage Sonny has done to his beloved family? General Hospital spoilers for August 4th to 8th, 2025. See Michael Corinthos' ice-cold move and Jason Morgan stalking somebody. As we always do on early edition day, we're going to start with what is coming the rest of this week and then dive into next week's action. On Wednesday, July 30th, we have Elizabeth Weber opening her home to Willow Tate for as long as she needs. We saw her bring her home already, but it looks like it's an open-ended invite at Liz's house because Willow is not going to go back to Drew Kane Quartermain's or Nina Reeves. Willow tells Liz that she knows in the light of day after the bad day she had that going to Carly Corinthos Spencer's the night before was a huge mistake. And somebody hires Rick Lansing. Now I suspect that might be Willow. Could be Portia Robinson, but he was kind of already repping her, so I tend to think it's Willow. Rick may see this as an opportunity to really show up and impress Liz, play hero, help Willow since Martin Gray is Drew's lawyer. Obviously, she's not going to use him for any custody stuff. Michael makes a big decision. Of course, Willow begged to see the kids, and she did what he asked. She dumped Drew, but it looks like Michael's going to go back on his word. He tells Jason he doesn't think that he can risk letting Willow see the kids. He thinks she's completely unhinged and is going to freak them out on General Hospital. Nina makes a play. She tells Rick she would make a deal with the devil if it would help her daughter. So, could be Nina hiring Rick as well. Obviously, she's looking for a way to get what Willow wants, which is her kids. And I do agree that's probably the best way to get Willow to forgive her is to help get those kids back. I also think that Nina may be in for a rude awakening since Michael told Carly about the Drew and Naneka fling, and Carly flipped out because she realized very quickly if Nina had come out with that weeks and weeks ago, then this Willow and Drew thing wouldn't have gotten nearly as far, and she is accurate. Carly thinks she's a selfish liar, so Trina Robinson gets an update from Curtis Ashford. I'm guessing that he's going to tell her about Willow dumping Drew at the altar and why it happened. I do wonder if Curtis is going to tell Trina that he's the one who told Willow. And I also wonder if he does, if Trina might let that slip to Kai Taylor. Because that would be pretty interesting. Because we know he has no problem tattling to Drew if he thinks he needs that info. Kai talks to Jocelyn Jax and makes it clear to her that Drew did not ruin his relationship with Trina. He says he did it. However, at the same time, I know that he feels like he did the right thing because he was exposing someone planning to lie about his boss. Laura Weber tells Lulu Spencer she thinks she's making a terrible mistake, and I think that that's Lulu trying to keep Rocco Falzaroni away from Liesl Obrecht when he's the one who went looking for her. We also know Lulu doesn't listen, so I think Laura is wasting her breath. On Thursday, July 31st, Anna Devane has some advice for Dante Falconeri. He may be talking to her about his concerns about Rocco and Obrecht, or this may be about him wanting to confront Jocelyn about possibly working at the WSB, which they think she is. Emma Scorpio Drake confides in Gio Palmieri. This is likely about her Hank Dalton plan. She really wants to expose this guy. Carly has some concerns, and she voices them to Joss. That's a lot of topics to cover. It could be about her dating Vaughn. It could be Carly talking about the Lucas Jones versus Sonny Corinthos drama. Maybe about Willow's craziness after the wedding blew up and how it's affecting Michael. Jason stops by to see Elizabeth and asks her to help him. And I wonder if it's going to be about Britt Westbourne's or about Willow. Maybe Jason's going to try and get her to, get Willow to just back off and let Michael cool down, let the situation cool down, show that Willow can be chill. Or it could be Jason asking medical questions about Britt's death, or her Huntington's disease, and where it might have progressed to. Now Willow is on a mission. I'm sure it's to get Wiley Quartermain Corinthos and Amelia Grace Corinthos back. She knows she messed up going to Carly's when she was out of control. But Willow is not going to let anything stop her. And she is way darker now than she ever was thanks to all that time spent with Drew. On Friday, August 1st, Jason goes to see Anna and shares some things with her. And Jason may be telling Anna that he thinks Britt is alive and that he may know where she is. And if the subject of Croatia comes up, I wonder if that will ring any bells for Anna. Alexis Davis demands answers. Now, she has a meeting with Ava Jerome this week, so that could be it. Or it could be her grilling Drew about what the heck did you subject your daughter, Scout Kane, go to? Dante has questions for Danny Morgan, and Dante might be asking Danny if he knew Rocco was talking to Obrecht and planning to see her. Plus, Emma works on a scheme with Gio. And again, I think this is about breaking into Dalton's lab because she stole Vaughn's keys, I'm sure, for that exact purpose. Felicia Scorpio has some advice for Lucas as this week ends, and it might be about what he's going through with Carly and Sonny. The week of August 4th through the 8th, I think Marco Rios and his father, Jen Sidwell, are probably going to be plotting on how to deal with the Sonny problem. The Teflon Don really stirred the hornet's nest by taking Marco because Sidwell was very protective of him, but he also kept Marco out of his business, and Marco wasn't playing dirty, and now he is all in. And he's a smart guy who knows the law, and he is working in the same firm as Sonny's lawyer. So he could probably get access to some legal stuff that might really hurt Sonny. Nina leans on her Aunt Liesel, who of course is going to comfort Nina, and they may plot to make sure that Drew is gone for good out of Willow's lives. I believe we can expect Rocco Falcaroni to rebel against his parents over this Obrecht issue. Laura advised Lulu against throwing out ultimatums and things like that. But again, Lulu never listens to anyone. I think Laura is wasting her breath. Just to be clear, Drew is quite determined to get revenge on those he feels wronged him. And he is desperate for a Willow reunion. And I think it's not going to be too long before Drew finds out Curtis dropped the bomb and not Nina. And once he finds that out, it's going to be game on. Carly is going to be struggling over losing her brother Lucas over this Sonny kidnapping Marco deal. When Carly had gone to Sonny and asked him not to do things, and he did it. But she's an enabler, and she excuses his behavior. Always has. Jocelyn may actually side with Lucas because she's back to despising Sonny again. Emma and Gio are ready to take a huge risk. And Jason considers his next steps. He may get on a plane and head over to Croatia to that hotel that he found the name of. And we should have more of Britt in Croatia and finding out how she's keeping her Huntingtons at bay. Looks like maybe that drug she injected is doing something. And Britt seems to be herself. Seems to have her memories because she mentioned the nurse's ball and she mentioned Mutter, which is what she called Liesel. That's the German word for mother. So, she's definitely Britt with all her memories. General Hospital tends to go in waves. They can spend months not remembering that Carly and Sonny only had one biological son together, and his name was Morgan. And then we can get multiple references to Morgan within the week, sometimes even in the same episode. We're in the latter part now, which makes us think the show is trying to tell us something about a beloved scene about to return. General Hospital merchandise. Morgan was born on the air. Sonny shot Carly while she was in labor because he thought she was cheating on him with Rick. Then, when Morgan was a preteen, Carly had her then-husband, Jax, adopt Morgan after Michael was shot in the head and put into a coma so that Sonny's enemies wouldn't go after Morgan too. However, don't you dare suggest to Carly that her choice of on and off marriages to Sonny puts her children in danger. She hates that. How dare you? How dare you? Carly would never ever do anything to hurt her precious children. That's why she needs Wiley and Amelia away from Willow. Willow is with Drew, and Drew is a danger to the children. They are much safer with Michael, who is Sonny's son, so he is always being looked after. Since we've been hearing so much about Morgan lately, what if he isn't really dead? What if he returns? And what if then, Carly can no longer deny the damage Sonny has done to his beloved family? General Hospital spoilers reveal that alum Kelly Monaco, who played Sam McCall until the character was killed off last October, has canceled her Tell-All podcast with Shanna Moakler. Months ago, it was revealed that Kelly planned to team up with Moakler, fellow Dancing with the Stars alum and Playboy Playmate of the Month, for a podcast called Bad Bunnies. Just when Kelly's fans thought they were finally going to get her side of the story of her General Hospital exit, the news came that the podcast had been canceled. Fans are very disappointed, considering that Kelly had promised to tell her side of thing after her untimely exit from the ABC soap. Kelly had been with ABC for over 20 years when she was fired from the show, and Sam was killed off. Fans were so upset that they lobbied for Kelly to be rehired and for Sam to come back from the dead. Sam was, after all, killed by Cyrus Renaud on his Vengeance tour. Of course, Dex Heller was killed by him as well. It seems that just as the podcast was supposed to begin, the Bad Bunnies didn't get off to a good start. As a matter of fact, it seems that if the bunnies had been racing the tortoise, they must have missed out. These bunnies just didn't make it out of the gate due to some personal problems that Monaco is suffering from. Moker explained that since Kelly was having personal problems, she would not be included in the podcast. However, Moker is going to go ahead with a podcast of her own with Claudia Johnson instead. Unfortunately, this doesn't include hearing from Monaco or the promised "nothing is off limits." It has been roughly a year since it was leaked that Monaco had been fired from the soap after over 20 years. Monaco had called her firing retaliation and promised to tell the story to her fans. As it is, fans are still waiting for answers that don't seem any closer to being revealed than they were when the firing took place. Fans had hoped that Monaco would have been cast in another soap by now, but that hasn't happened yet. Is Monaco just being choosy about what she does next? Or has all of the talk about retaliation caused an issue when it comes to a new job? Will GH fans ever get the full story of what happened that led to Monaco's firing? Will fans be left to their own devices to figure out the truth? This week on GH, will Jason find Britt? The General Hospital spoilers video preview for the week of August 4th, 2025 is here. Find out what explosive situations will happen this week in Port Charles. Anna is in the mood for a confrontation when GH's video preview begins. She and Dante worked together and figured out that Joss was Brennan's latest USB recruit. Now it's time to see what Brennan has to say for himself. There is going to be hell to pay when Carly finds out what you've done to her daughter, Anna tells the WSB station chief. She's not wrong, and he knows it. Meanwhile, Jason continues telling everybody who will listen, including Sonny, that Britt is alive. But he knows it for sure after hearing her voice while he was talking to that shady guy at the Five Poppies resort. He's the one who is attempting to keep Britt holed up in her luxury room. Cut to Anna popping back up and further lighting a fire under Jason regarding Britt. You need to find her as soon as you can, the police commissioner insists. In Dubrovnik, Britt's on the phone talking to someone and telling them, "You have a huge problem." But you know who really has a huge problem? Anna. The weekly video preview closes out with someone taking Anna. Is this the WSB trying to stop her from investigating anything to do with Dalton and whatever Britt is cooking up in Croatia? Don't miss a moment of the drama in Port Charles. General Hospital spoilers. For August 4th, 2025, tease everyone's favorite duo on the case after the truth about Britt was finally revealed. Just before Willow could say "I do," Willow demanded answers from her fiancé about sleeping with her mother. He admitted it, and she stormed out, leaving Drew to confront Nina and reveal she was the one who had him drugged. Brennan learned that the tracker on Dalton's briefcase that lost signal. Christina admitted to Michael that she caused Elizabeth and Rick's accident. Molly lashed out at Cody, assuming he just wanted to sleep with her. Jason found out that Liesl was back in Port Charles. Willow arrived at Carly's door demanding to see the kids, but Michael kicked her out. Elizabeth and Rick found her, and Elizabeth took her in for the night. Nina met with Curtis and Portia to update them on the wedding, and Curtis admitted he was the one who told Willow. Jason met with Liesl to discuss Britt, who was seen receiving Dalton's briefcase. Martin learned from Yuri that Monica had confided in him about her life before the Quartermaines. Nina tried making amends with Willow, but she refused. Later, Nina asked Rick to represent Willow in the custody battle. Drew sought out Michael, asking him to let Willow see the kids. Curtis filled Trina in on the situation with Drew, while Portia decided she should submit her resignation. Drew sneakily found out from Elizabeth that Curtis was the one who outed his affair to Willow. Kai tried making amends with Trina, but she turned him down. Dante visited Anna and had an awkward encounter with Gio. Later, Emma revealed to Gio that she stole Vaughn's key. Carly tried warning Joss about getting too close to Vaughn. Jason asked Elizabeth to search for Britt's morgue records, and he discovered that the paperwork was never officially filed. Willow begged Michael to let her see the kids, and he refused. Jason turned to Anna with his theory about Britt. Later, he called the 5 Poppies and heard Britt's voice yelling on the other end of the line. Alexis and Sonny discussed Christina, who discovered what her father did to Marco. After Emma told Gio her plan, he offered to sneak into Dalton's lab for her. Dante investigated Vaughn, and Danny gave him some intel on Dalton and the woman who had the briefcase at the pool. Brennan sent Joss and Vaughn on an undercover mission to find the briefcase, posing as newlyweds. Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you agree or disagree? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates. Your opinions matter, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you!